We started here.
Seeing if anybody else can. I haven't heard. I'll tell you
No
later.
one else is on.
Larry, you shouldn't have grandfather was always grafting. Like, that's awesome. Just
Strawberry moon tonight.
Yes,
Oh,
it
really?
is.
Oh, really?
Yep, full strawberry.
I wanna try to go see it. I'm too low, you know, where I am, there's too many trees, so I wanna go up a little higher.
In Preston Hill.
Yeah, I know. that's-
Giving
that's
The best
amazing.
spot, right across.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have able to see it.
As long as it stays
They
clear.
said when the sun sets,
Yeah,
as the
sure.
sun is setting, it's gonna be rising,
It's a speed look.
Yeah.
and that's what makes it red. So,
Beautiful. I brought
so-
that from my garden. Beautiful.
Oh my God.
I'll give Jen a couple minutes.
Right,
It's amazing, right? Did you smell?
yeah,
That's what plants are about.
yeah, it's really interesting.
Do I win it?
It's so unusual. You win it? Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it is it.
It's a magnolia
magnolia.
crust. What is it?
It's called Magnolia Porcelain Dove. It's the name of it.
Magnolia porcelain
Porcelain
dove.
I'd wear that.
I have those
So it's a late-
Asiatic lilies, you know?
Oh.
The deer like those.
No, no. So
It's like
does
a little
the,
snack.
so does the red lily leaf beetle,
Yeah,
you know? I mean, it just,
that comes in waves. Some years it's not that bad, and other years.
this year, none so far.
Yeah,
You know, none,
it's the heat that brings it out. I think.
yeah,
Like, here.
none.
Are these just blooming now? Then?
That particular.
So they're
yeah,
late, much late, bloom
Yep.
much later.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Our native ones are much later to avoid frost. It's all the Asiatic types that are.
Is that what it is?
How old are they? They hold up to the zone pretty good?
Yeah, that one's what it's now.
Tough, huh?
Were you involved in the planting of it or was it there?
No, yeah, I installed it, yep. It was one I picked out. It's one of my favorites. I don't know why, probably the name. Good marketing. Magnolia. Porcelain dove. It's really great name. Exactly, it's just marketing. I don't know.
You did sneak in the side.
side door. Frank Sinatra over here.
She did it her way.
Well,
Bob heard it. Yeah, that's good.
Gosh, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, not well. Yeah, oh, you worked now for two weeks. And that's just-
I had no idea it was Wednesday.
Like
Until like 10
today
minutes
was-
ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I was afraid I was gonna fall asleep with my, I was like, I vision this.
Yeah.
That's right.
I would like to hear.
Okay, everybody, good evening. Welcome to tonight's meeting. I will seat regular members Christopher, Larry, Jolene, Jennifer, and myself. And we'll go right into consideration of the minutes, regular meeting minutes, May 28th. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
No.
Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve regular meeting minutes from May 28th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Alright.
Okay. And we would go right into that wonderful site inspection by Larry. So comprehensive, Larry.
Indeed.
Thank you very much for that.
Thanks.
Does anybody have any comments or questions on that?
That was awesome.
Mhm.
So that's about it.
And if I can have a motion, please.
Motion to approve a site inspection report for 147 Saturday Lane, IW 25-19, Larry General, from June 2nd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Okay, any subsequent business?
No.
Okay, we'll go right into 157 Calhoun Street for a boardwalk and bridge and driveway. Paul, however, we cannot approve this application. The reason being is in the motion, original motion of approval, that driveway, construction driveway, needed to be removed and restored back to normal when we approved that application.
Yeah, this is what we discussed 2 weeks ago.
And that driveway has to be restored back to the original condition. It was our motion of approval as a condition. It was also a motion of approval as a condition in your special permit for zoning.
That's why I'm coming back. So when I originally presented this several months ago, I was clear that the original driveway had to be removed. So that's why I'm proposing a new application. I was proposing a new application to construct a bridge and remove the driveway. So that's why I had the ecologist report.
Mhm.
And then at the 2 meetings ago, the commission informed me that you wanted the driveway to remain. So that's why I modified my plans.
It was the driveway that I believe to remain was the driveway from the pipe to the lawn, I believe, is what we thought we were gonna have stay. But in our original application, it states that the whole driveway is supposed to be removed as a
But
condition.
that's why I made a whole new application to allow the driveway and a bridge. Then a month ago, you guys came back and said, we don't want a bridge. We want the driveway that is in the wetlands to
Mhm.
remain. So that's what I applied because I know the original application said the driveway was to remain. So that's why I made a new application to propose the driveway to be there, plus a bridge. Then a month ago, you guys said,
Mhm.
the area that's in the wetlands, we want removed, or we do not want removed.
Because it would
anymore.
cause more disturbance.
Disturbance
Right.
than the bridge with the helical piers, and so we have multiple alternatives
Bob,
that
do
we
you
looked
think
at.
that the issue is that perhaps we administratively did not quite handle this, that Paul should have asked for a modification on the original to leave? I don't wanna overcomplicate this, but your issue is that the original permit and approval,
As a condition.
one of the
approval
conditions was that that driveway was supposed to be removed.
And restored back.
Right, so in order for that permit to technically be complete, if Paul submitted a modification on that original permit for this driveway to remain as a permanent access, then, and rather than a new, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of talking through
Yeah, I
this.
don't know how this goes with zoning as well either.
Well, I have to go to zoning now, so I have to go for a subdivision, so after I go, statutorily. I can't propose things to zoning unless I have a wetlands.
This is
approval.
a whole new application for that? Is that what this
Yeah,
plan
so
is
it's to
here?
accommodate, then I go to zoning for a subdivision.
No, but what I'm asking for, this plan that you have here,
Yeah,
is that the new plan to restore that driveway?
the plan hasn't changed,
We're not
So-
restoring the driveway.
so just so let me come back in the beginning from several months ago when I first submitted.
Right,
So when I first submitted, I actually think I have it with me. Hold on one
well,
second.
wait a minute, I don't understand, Bob, where are you now coming up with that, the original
It
has to
was,
be?
it was
Well, I know, but except-
original approval.
Except we've had site meetings and then we had a
Right,
meeting
it
and
was,
we
Shelley had,
discussed.
and Shelley had given this information to me.
So when we submitted several months ago, I don't have the plan with me. We proposed an application where the driveway would remain from Calhoun Street to just prior to the wetlands. And initially, we were proposing a bridge over the
Mhm.
area in the general location of the existing driveway portion that was to be removed. Then we modified that plan based on our ecologist input to propose a bridge over onto the island of non-wetlands and then crossing the other small wetland area and coming over.
Mhm.
Then at, I think it was 1 month ago, the commission made the statement that this area, the area that was within the wetlands, you had preferred that, to remain.
Right,
So that's why we took everything off the plan. We added the culvert maintenance sequence as it related to inspections and maintenance, back. Prior to the last meeting that we had, a couple people weren't here, so we were tabling it. So after I go to you guys, I then have to go to planning to subdivide the property into 2 properties. At that point, each lot has its own driveway that serves its own residents individually.
Right.
But I can't go to
Right.
that until I get.
And our
wetlands approval.
concern is not planning
No.
or zoning.
no, it's our, no, But I'm totally confused because I don't recall until I was told that in our motion of approval, but that driveway had to be restored back to the original condition. So
No,
I'm just-
no, we were
You're
all,
saying
we
back a
were all
couple
very
years ago,
clear
right?
about that, because Paul's original application for this
Was this
made
the
it,
guy?
made it clear that he was addressing that the restoration, removal of the existing, restoration and installation, and then requesting an installation of a new driveway to access the guest house, and that was his presentation, and after looking at everything and us all being out there, we said, you know, this just seems like it's stabilized, the existing access has stabilized, everything seems to be functioning fine. So why do we want to disturb and disrupt?
I think that that's wherein lies the confusion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what is probably where the confusion is that I believe it was, maybe brought that maybe you thought, I thought, Shelley thought there was a misunderstanding that, how it was previously, is that how it was, that's how it was going to remain without the driveway, the previous conversation.
Which conversation,
The
like
con-
what time period?
Okay,
'Cause
no,
I'm not following you all.
exactly.
Just so I can. we'll
So
be on
not
the
this
same-
past meeting, the meeting before,
Mhm.
there was a conversation how the rock, the wall,
Pile, right.
that
Right here.
that the invasive, there was
Right.
gonna be a plan for the invasives removal, correct?
That was what was always proposed.
Yes, yes.
Back from a
So
couple months ago.
that plan was gonna remain. And then there was another,
The bridge was in there too, wasn't that?
Yeah, so
The bridge was.
there was a pipe.
So this is
There was a
Wednesday,
pipe.
so
May
the
14th.
existing pipe, I was,
Existing pipe.
so
Thank
I
you.
went and
This
reviewed.
was Wednesday, May 14th.
Yes, there was a pipe that was going to be looked at and a plan was going to come up for that, something with that.
Yeah, so this
Yes.
pipe right here, so
Mhm.
I said I was gonna look at the outfall, this was
Yes.
a month ago.
Yes.
And then prior to the last meeting, you guys didn't have full staff,
Mhm.
so I had submitted
Yes.
plans that showed the drainage maintenance associated with that pipe.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I think that maybe in that conversation that maybe you had assumed, or the discussion, it was assumed in that discussion that the plan was with, the driveway was off the table. Cause that was that was the impression that I
No, Jen,
had gotten to.
Larry, what do you? The driveway was never off the
The
table,
driveway was never off the table.
Okay,
and Jen.
Right, I
understood.
remember we said that.
It was never, the only thing that changed was to maybe go the other way, to go, it was a change in how we were going to access over the island.
okay.
That was what the change was.
Where I was the driveway removal of a certain area was off the table.
Right,
through the
yeah,
wetlands.
right.
Yes, that's right.
That's
Just
what
that
I'm
certain
getting
at.
area,
That's correct.
and the
That's right.
pipe was gonna stay,
That's
the
correct.
rock pile was gonna stay.
Correct.
That's right.
And no other disturbance because Greenscape said everything is
Right,
flourishing.
That's,
Yeah.
yes.
Which meant that then that access way to the cottage was going to remain as it is.
Yeah, look, I never,
But
I mean,
we're
just
just
so
talking
everyone,
about the construction access part.
which is from Calhoun
Calhoun
Street
Street, oh,
to here.
that's.
Yeah.
So,
But how far in? Just the construction access part
What do you
No, the
mean?
construction-
From Calhoun.
It has to
till
be contiguous.
to the wetlands?
To the wetlands was going to be omitted, is what my understanding.
Bob, it sounds like to me that the original construction access to that back guest house was supposed to be removed, and that's why Paul was.
and that's why I came back with
Yeah,
a new
submitting a new
application.
one.
So,
Yeah.
so several months ago, when I
Yes.
first applied, 2-3
And you
months
made
ago,
that clear in your original.
I said, I'm
application.
proposing to keep the driveway from Calhoun Street to the wetlands, but I'm gonna remove the portion in accordance with the prior approval, and in return, replace that with a bridge with helical piers.
And I don't think we thought about a driveway going back in there because of the zoning of like that you wouldn't be able to put one there, but there shouldn't be one on the
No.
construction.
Well, I explained at one of the meetings that the reason I'm doing this was so that I could then apply for
Yeah.
subdivision.
Right.
And I remember that conversation. So,
So,
Yeah, and.
and I've always
and
built
again,
the driveway on the
zoning
plan
is
to
not
remain,
our-
I've never shown it to be removed.
I see the confusion here though, because one thing wasn't crossed off and that T wasn't crossed. In
Well, my
terms of
plans have been
administratively
consistent
on
for 3
Shelley's,
months.
in Shelley's mind, I think,
Mhm.
was that T wasn't crossed before we moved on with it. So that's where I think there's a congestion.
Does Shelley misunderstand this part of it as well?
Well, she knows I need a driveway to go for zoning.
That was discussed.
Okay,
Yeah.
So Julie.
Cause I didn't apply to you guys till I met with staff, cause I
Well,
wanna make sure I was going.
That's what I'm wondering,
been
if
consistent
it's
in
if it's a
the past.
technical issue, because the original permit for this guest cottage included the temporary construction road,
Mhm.
which also the permit said, once the construction was done, that
Everything had to
temporary
be
construction road was
restored.
gonna be removed and everything restored.
And we assume there wouldn't be a new one going in. there.
Right,
Right,
but then
right.
Paul came, so I'm wondering, in order for that original permit to be properly closed,
Completed, yeah.
that should have a modification
modification to
for
it.
this. I'm just
But this is
saying,
a whole new application, right?
I made this as a new application, cause that was the understanding of the path that we
Yeah.
should take. Because I was proposing the bridge and the removal of that portion of the
Right.
roads.
right, so that was
So we
Paul's
need-
news, so that you were
That's
gonna complete
administrative.
it.
To be,
We just.
It's
There, it.
for the modification.
Yeah, cause it passed our approval already.
We read that.
No.
Right.
The driveway that's there.
If he wants to do that, he needs to come to us with a modification before he comes to us with a new plan, no?
Just what's there, we've
Or
already
does he-
approved,
What,
as long as we think it's good.
what's there is approved
That's
as temporary.
This is
Well, then honestly, the modification could be approved administratively, we know what's there, I mean, seriously.
As long as we feel it's good in.
Nothing, it is what it is,
Purpose.
nothing's going to change, we don't have, I mean, that's just my
Mhm.
thought.
Right.
If we're good
Nothing
with-
is gonna change with that driveway the way it is. I think he needs to come to us, to Shelley with a modification before we can go through this plan.
But we've all looked, like we did the.
Well,
I
honestly,
mean, just respectfully, just being honest, I've been before you guys for like 90 days on this.
I know,
So my client's gonna, I don't care, like you guys know, I'm the most laid back person. My client's gonna freak of, why is this getting brought up now?
no,
'Cause we've been
you know
consistent
what,
over
this is
the-
this is changing the access road to a
Yeah.
permanent road, so then it's. Why isn't it just a modification? Why does it even need, why does he even need a new application? Pass it administratively as a modification and it's done.
In other words,
We've been out, we've looked at it, I mean,
the road is not to be removed anymore.
right,
Blah, 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 blah.
right.
I mean,
And-
if I have,
And that's what we did and
just playing it out like from a
Cause we
statutory.
could remove it and then put
regulatory
the exact
perspective.
same
That's
thing
what I'm
back.
thinking.
Doesn't this permit replace, in essence, because it's a new permit, doesn't that replace the supersede the prior permit?
Well, I
No,
think
because
because the permit wasn't closed out per the conditions.
That's
Yeah,
our,
technically, you're correct, yeah, no, I'm just trying to play it out.
No, I know, that's why it's like we're talking.
Yeah,
through
talking it out is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To not over, let's not overcomplicate it.
Exactly, that's.
Can we just get a stent in this?
did we all think that the conditions of the space and the conditions of the driveway were good to approve beyond, aside from that statute or that part of, that it had to be removed? Like, I feel like we would be approving this if it weren't for that one part of the previous approval that it had to be removed. Right?
Well, do you guys have the authority to
Yeah, that one
empower
condition.
Shelley to approve modifications?
Shelley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yes, absolutely,
So,
she has the authority.
so could the commission make a motion to approve a modification, to empower her to approve a modification of that permit with the addition of the drainage pipe culvert maintenance requirements that are on this plan?
Would we need an application for that though?
I can apply, I have
No,
no
no, I'm
problem
just
doing the
saying that, yeah.
paperwork.
I'm just trying to see if we need to save a step.
Yeah, I think, what if we could propose that, you know, that we direct you to apply for a modification and that we would give with the details and that the ZEO has the authority to approve the modification per the
That's easy,
commission.
then we can move on. It's fine by me if you're.
My
okay.
core thought is, if it weren't for the condition that it had to be removed, we all seem to think, given the sidewalk, that the driveway was okay,
Mhm,
that it was the better alternative than putting in a new one.
yes.
Correct.
You're
So
right.
that's the
And
only
just
thing
leaving
that is the,
Right, it's a technical, it's an administrative, like closing.
Yeah, my client's
closing
more than
the
happy to
permit.
file the permit, it was just the modification with Shelley and Tammy, and if you can do that, that's fantastic, that solves it all, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I
I
think
guess
that
is it up to Shelley though in the end?
it would be up to Shelley, yeah.
seems like we all thought it was a.
Why would it
better-
be up to Shelley if the commission approves it?
She just had to do it administratively.
Yeah.
And she would just confer with me,
Yeah,
and I would just say, yeah, you know, at that point.
Right.
So,
because I mean, there are lots of things that she approves, but she runs it past you and
Right.
that she can approve it. And in this case, since we've all been out there and it seems like everybody's on the same page, I just,
Just, just playing, oh, I'm sorry, just to play devil's advocate.
No apologies
If,
needed.
Zoning doesn't do the subdivision.
Oh, then I have to remove
Then
it.
you have to remove it.
Then he has to remove it.
No, and I understand that, it's a chicken and egg thing, like.
Yeah.
I have to
that's,
come to
think,
you
some of the
guys.
Confusion that we
I,
had. with
yeah,
this
so like the way it
part.
works by statute, I have to come to you,
Mhm.
I have to get the approvals for it to remain. Then I have to go to planning, if planning for some reason denies it, then I have to come back to you to remove it. So it's
Right.
that simple, I mean, that's fully
Right.
understood, yeah,
That's the circle,
that's the way it works,
So that's a
it's just
condition of the
it's a
modification.
uniqueness of the statute.
right. He has to,
Right?
right, he has to go and apply for a modification to keep to the original application,
the original permit.
right, the original permit, he has to apply for modification to the original permit to keep the driveway.
With the condition
Yeah.
that.
And then update, right, you go, you know what to
Graded type
do, yeah, I
maintenance,
mean.
and the expanded invasives removal that we agreed to.
You reference everything that you,
It
yeah,
doesn't go
Would-
through, we
would
would
be-
know here.
Is there, do you
I mean,
think there's
it
a
kind of-
chance that it will be turned down for the?
If it meets the regs, it's gotta be
Right.
approved by statute, so.
And that is just with the invasive removal and planting plan, but the rock pile and everything else is staying
Shows to remain.
and the
Yeah.
pipe is staying.
Okay, thanks.
Are we
guys.
comfortable with that? Bill?
No say.
I mean, I think that would be the best way to go.
logically, that just seems to take care of our, you know.
It covers you legally, in my
Right,
opinion, because
Yeah.
you're absolutely correct, Bob.
Just
I
make the
should have applied
motion
for a
crystal
modification.
clear.
Well, no,
But I never thought about
thank
that.
Tammy for that. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, no, you're technically correct. I never thought about that until you just brought it up now. So I appreciate you trying to. find
well,
a way
no,
to have
thank
it.
you for being
Yeah,
cordial on it.
thanks, guys.
And
Okay,
So it stays.
Wait, motion, we gotta make the motion, right?
a motion,
To have Shelley,
okay, yeah, so somebody would
To
need to make a
recommend.
motion here to, have Shelley, approve a modification
to authorize Shelley,
to authorize Shelley to, approve that plan to keep the driveway.
I'll do it. Motion is to, is to recommend that the, 157 Calhoun Street, the Premier Trust, for IW 2512, apply for a modification to the original inland wetland permit, which I do not have referenced at this time.
Um,
20.
IW
No, that's the
2512,
No,
or IW,
No.
oh, IW
2154.
2154.
Okay, so a modification to IW 2154. For the temporary construction access road to become the permanent access way. And will include,
Pipe
to
maintenance,
include the pipe maintenance and the updated,
invasive removal and such.
site plan. With the
I mean-
authority for the maintenance plan and with the authority for the ZEO to approve this modification.
Check.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thanks for helping navigate.
okay,
that.
hang on. Okay, I gotta accept two more of your applications.
Oh, I
Are you-
thought Steep Rock was next.
Yeah, I'll do Steve
Yeah.
next. I thought you were leaving.
Oh, I'd never leave this one. Come on, Bob, when else do you get this high level entertainment?
Maybe up there.
Oh, yeah, you're right, it's much higher. level. I'd like to not get punched.
Yeah,
in the
really.
face.
They're a lot of fun.
I think it's gonna get heated out there.
Corey, come on up.
Oh,
So-
You can hear us? Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
So I said, oh, this is-
It's like you say.
Seriously.
Not too much hungry, Chris.
Well, we could, I don't know, well, we have the Zoom thing. Yeah, so,
Okay,
anyway.
um,
Eh.
we have all the
So you don't
information.
know that we have fun at wetland meetings.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, Steve Rockford, Town of Washington, Corey, removal of Japanese knotweed. Does anybody have any more comments or information regarding this application for Steve Rock? I think Larry spelled a lot of it out and Corey provided all the information for us in the
Rory, have you worked with that herbicide before, that kind of salt, like that,
I'm not-
herbicide?
I am I haven't personally, but all habitat has.
Yeah,
So
and
that was
those,
an
the
included
before and
in that.
afters looked pretty good. What I saw, and like the. I'm reading up on the chemical, look. It seems like it's at least,
Mhm.
you know, yeah, at least a factor. So, yeah.
It's not harmful.
Yeah, at least harmful, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Which is good.
and I don't know how you do it another way. Like there's
Yeah,
no, I don't think there's any proven alternative.
No, and it's just the most effective.
To getting rid of the knotweed?
Exactly, yeah, so that's always the thing I go to, is like, is there a better way to do it, and I don't think. that-
Yeah, you'll never get rid of it all.
Right.
I mean, it's too much maintenance just to keep cutting and
I
cutting.
just wasn't at the sidewalk, so just looking over it, I concur with that, like, hey.
Is it possible that we could tag along when this is being done, or is that?
I can reach out to the.
I mean, I'd like to,
Manager.
I'd like to see, I'd like to go and just see how it's done, if it works out, if it's
Okay.
possible.
But he's got to notify Shelley and then,
Yeah, for.
yeah, and then you can notify Larry.
You sure you're doing it, the plan is to do it over the course of 2 days, right? That was what we discussed.
Yes,
But-
per tree.
Per treat, exactly.
And then there's, how many
Two-
treatments?
Yeah, 2 treatments.
Okay, that's not.
I mean, I was just thinking if it's possible, just to, not to be there the entire time that's being done, I just wanted to see the process.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did everybody read Larry's report? And,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah,
and you'll be looking for a 5-year permit for this?
yes.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, who would like to do it?
Excuse me, no, you're doing.
She really pointed at Jimmy.
You had to do it. Oh my gosh, you're so funny. Okay. Oh, you're gonna punish me, okay, it's not a punishment. Okay, Rory,
I don't know.
we're gonna get through
I don't know
this.
if you're sure.
Yours is gonna be a lot easier. Okay, to approve, motion to approve application, I'm gonna not get too loud either, so you're coming in school with us. To approve application IW 25 19 submitted by Steep Rock. Association for the Town of Washington at 147 Sabaday Lane for Japanese knotweed maintenance. What was the reference? Let's see, we have documents on file for that.
Yeah, there's, everything.
Let's see, right. Geez, the application, no, that's all right. Anyway, all the documents are on file with the application, it's fine.
And this is the,
Oh, one of the
there's this,
conditions,
and it goes right here
right,
for all the condition, and under the condition of approval.
got it. This permit is valid for 5 years and is subject to the following conditions. One, that the land use office be notified at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of work so the wetlands enforcement officer can inspect and approve the erosion control measures. 2, that the property owner gives the contractor copies of both the motion of approval and approved plans prior to commencement of work. And 3, the approval of this permit is conditioned upon performance and completion of all proposed activities and or improvements in totality to the satisfaction of the Inland Wetlands Commission. There shall not be any modification of any kind of the plans and or scope sequence of the proposed activities and or improvements shown on the approved plans without prior approval of the Inland Wetlands Commission or its designee. 4, the conditions are as follows. A photojournal from the start of the application on day 1 and continued throughout the entire process. Note, mark and protect pale green orchids, St. John's wort, and violet wood sorrel if applicable. Note nesting birds, most likely not nesting in knotweed, but in close proximity, all nesting birds to be protected. Safety data sheets to be supplied prior to any all work, the MSDS sheets. Next, clear signage prior to work commencement. Next, clear signage in all areas after the herbicide treatment. License numbers, information from all habitat services of all field personnel. And lastly, a list of all employees, field personnel prior to work commencement. In approving this permit application, the commission has considered all the relevant criteria pursuant to sections 11.02, 11A, and 12.08 of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses regulations and finds that the proposed regulated activities as presented on the plans and conditioned herein are not reasonably likely to lead to significant adverse impacts on any wetlands and watercourses.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're all set, Marie.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so. Yes, so you'll let Shannon know when you start and say.
Yeah, we didn't have hardly anybody here, it was me and Jen.
No, yeah, you didn't want me here because.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I did. I think it's through the wedding fine. And then I lost my voice for 3 days. And then I was, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, new applications, received by the commission, 150 Calhoun Street, IW 2520 for 18 by 25 previous installed sunken trampoline. I will accept this application. And, did everybody see that picture that Paul had drawn?
Of the cute little trampoline.
Yeah, the trampoline,
Yeah.
just to show how they had a crushed stuff.
It's very professionally done.
Thanks. Jackson did it.
I remember when we were there.
Starting them early, huh?
Yeah, and a jump on that
We
trampoline.
were not sure about that shed until Paul said,
Okay.
none of us could wait.
Okay.
There was.
We can't act on this tonight. I don't think we need to go out there. We all saw it. Does
No,
anybody
we
have
all
any
know what it
questions?
looks like.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were out there.
Yeah, do anybody have any questions on this at all?
So what would happen then? There would be a huge fine? I mean, a fine?
They paid the fine.
We
They
paid
paid
it
already?
already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They messed up, so.
Paid the fine. Okay, so, that'll be acted on next. And, I will accept application, for 157 Calhoun Street, IW 2521 for the removal of an existing shed on that. And, they're just gonna, you know when that's gonna get hauled off?
Oh, you guys said do not do it until you approve it. So, within 2 to 4 weeks of you
After
approving
that?
it, then they'll remove it.
Okay,
Alright, and then just so you guys know, I just added one note for the plan for that. I thought maybe it would be prudent.
which plan was that?
That I have for you tonight. It just says to be removed and replanted with New England Conservation Wetland Wildlife Seed Mix.
Mhm.
Just so you guys could see that area would be restored, so I'll give a couple of these to Tammy with
Okay.
extra copies if you guys want them. Okay, but I just felt that would clarify, so then
Okay,
it was crystal clear. Alright.
Good.
and
Or that, do we need to,
we can't act for 14 days
right,
so it'll be at the next meeting.
so at the next meeting, okay.
Do you guys need me at that meeting if I don't have
That's
anything?
I don't
Okay,
think so.
thanks so much.
Yeah,
I mean, I do love, you guys are the most enjoyable.
I won't be here either, so.
Ah.
Oh, good for you.
That's what it
Again,
was.
you're traveling again?
I'm going fishing,
Oh, you going?
Oh, cool.
yeah, Lake Ontario.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, that's
Wow,
awesome.
that's great.
Where you going?
my grandson.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
That's
so lucky
so
about
great.
it. That's great.
Chartered a boat.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
great. Goal.
Now, if you can find a cruise that would take you to fishing.
Yeah.
That's in October.
Ah.
That's right, you never know what it ends.
That's right.
So enjoy it while you can.
That you
Have a
betcha.
great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Do we have any other business? No. Did everybody get to see Shelley's enforcement?
Yes.
Okay, if
Yeah.
anybody has any questions, just send them off to Shelley.
Yep.
Administrative business,
No,
communications,
yep.
motion,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
okay,
Okay.
very good. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I was confused there for a little bit on that.